Okay, hello, this is Rani Ahmed with you. This is lesson 16 in using the language for the computers Objective-C on the Macintosh operating system. So you can make programs, and on this lesson we're going to talk about multidimensional arrays. Now, mainly multidimensional arrays are used with matrix operations, okay, where you have the data is, in math there is something called matrices, which are a set of numbers which are arranged in this way. Okay, you can have more rows and more columns, much like your Excel spreadsheet or your calc in OpenOffice spreadsheet. So to sum two different matrices, okay, because this each square here is called a matrix, okay, each square here is called a matrix. So the way to add matrices is like add corresponding values, okay, or corresponding elements, and the matrices has to be of the same size, which means they have the same number of rows and same number of columns. So 1 plus 5 will give you 6, and 2 plus 6 will give you 8, and 3 plus 7 will give you 10, and 4 plus 8 will give you 12, and so on. Okay, so corresponding values must be added to get the sum. Now, the way in C or Objective-C, because Objective-C is really in reality is the C programming language with some libraries regarding objects, okay, and the way to define an array of a matrix, or what we call a multidimensional array, is that you say here you put a square bracket in front of the name of the variable. Okay, here I have a matrix of integers, so each element here in the matrix must be an integer. Integer doesn't have to, it must not take, float or anything else. It must be an integer, okay, because this is how I defined it. Okay, if you want it as a float, you can define a float. You want a character, you can define a character. Okay, so and here you say, or you mention the maximum number of rows, and here the maximum number of columns. Okay, and you can have more dimensions, more than this one. Okay, more than this two, like 2 to maybe 3. This is another dimension. Okay, and the way to define it, okay, is using like each set of braces here, curly braces, are is a row, okay, and here I'm saying I have a column. Okay, so if I want to write, okay, and also I want to tell you that the columns here and rows will be those integers that I'm going to use to iterate using for loop over the matrices elements, so I can add them up. So I'm just here telling you that how to add things. Like, see, I first mentioned like to start with like 2 empty braces, then I start filling it up with the number of rows that I want, or columns, however you want to call them, and then I fill it up, each one, so I don't get messed up, you know what I mean? So I don't get messed up or confused. And then here I just remove the letter S, because it's good for expression, because you don't have columns, you iterate using one column. Okay, and then I start with the rows, because if you want to iterate over a matrix and parse that matrix with the multidimensional in a multidimensional array, you must have always nested for loops, a for loop within another for loop within another for loop. So I start, of course, from number 0, because this is here is just the maximum number of rows or columns, which is the length. Okay, this is the length of the row and the length of the columns. Okay, or the number of rows and the number of columns. Okay, but because arrays start from number 0, okay, that's why you will start like it doesn't count from 1, it counts from 0. Okay, so that's why I start from assigning row as 0. Okay, and in C it's better to put, for compatibility reasons, okay, it's better to put your code, put int row column, okay, ahead of for the, I mean, like, you don't have to type in here for parentheses, then int, then row. Okay, although new standards allow you to do that. So of course row must not be less than or equal to, because the maximum in counting is 1, then 0, then 1. Okay, you cannot go like 1 0 1 2. Okay, otherwise you will be having 3 elements. I have only 2 elements per row and column. Okay, so that's why I say exactly less than 2. Okay, then I have to define a sum array. Later we'll see that. Okay, so this is of course, because I must pass the rows and columns, so I must use row plus plus and column plus plus later. So I'm just writing things. So this is for column, okay, assign as 0, and column less than, of course, less than 2, similar to rows, because this is the maximum. If it were here 3, okay, you can use less than less than 3. Okay, strictly less than 3. Okay, and this is column plus plus, and I'm filling the columns. Okay, and then here's the definition of my sum array. Okay, so as I told you, this is again the number of, like, using our own counting, the human counting. Okay, the programming language counts starting from 0, we count from 1. Okay, so here this 2 is just our own counting. Okay, so this is row, this is column, this is matrix 1. Okay, so this is the row of matrix 1, and this is the column of matrix 1. Okay, and similarly for matrix 1, I'm like I made a mistake, like you have to have 2, okay, instead of matrix 1 here, the next one, the other one, but it's the same. It's just adding the values. I'm adding the same list, and this is how I print it out. So I say similarly after copying the top one. Okay, and okay, here I'm fixing it with printf. Okay, so this is, I'm just saying that I want to express each element on a different line, and saying the coordinates, the location of every element and its corresponding sum. Okay, okay, and therefore later I got number 2. Okay, I made it number 2. So over here, so this is how we print the sum. So I'm saying at row number X and number row and column number column. Okay, I got this sum, and this is how I print the sum. Cool. Now if you have to use scanf, you have to use something like this. Okay, with the scanf. Now this way I printed up the columns and rows and had the sum. Okay, and here I get the result of my sum. Okay, so the first row, at the first column we got the sum as 6, and here's our example. just match it. So the first row and the first columns, as I told you, matrices are summed by corresponding elements. So 1 plus 5 gives you 6, 2 plus 6 equals 8, and so on. Now, so just for more clarity, okay, what's going on in the nested for loops, I start here with one row, okay, like I start here with the current row, and here it loops all over the columns within the current row. Okay, once it finishes the current column, it goes to the next row, okay, and so on. So this concludes our lesson. Okay, please subscribe using your own YouTube account, the one that you sign in with, to Google maybe, and then use your comments, please. I want to see you commenting on my videos, and thanks for watching. Bye.